Well, thank you very much, Deborah and ALK Positive UK, for inviting me and Dash Global here today. I want to talk to you about a new service, which is called the Health Companion in Lung Cancer, and what is known and linked into something that we've called the Digital Assessment Exchange. I've got a disclaimer to make. There's a series of these cartoons you'll see, and I just want to say this is not a visual representation of anybody in the room today. But so as we go through, you'll see a number of these cartoons. But as you can see, this service is being supported specifically by Lung Cancer Nursing UK, nationally, and Mesothelioma UK, which is asbestos cancer. But also we're associated with the likes of ALK Positive, EGFR Positive, etc. So this is a national rollout across the UK. And so your support would be absolutely brilliant. So it was really interesting today in the three presentations that I was here for that everybody's mentioned quality of life. And this is exactly what this platform's all about. And patient-reported outcomes measures really is a term for basically questionnaires that have been validated that can be used to provide evidence to support research. And that is critically important to capture whether the services provided improve health and sense of well-being. And this platform is at a population level rather than in a specific clinical trial. But funnily enough, although this is extremely important, that apart from sort of clinical trials, patient-reported outcomes measures, e.g. your quality of life and symptoms, aren't routinely collected as part of clinical practice. So, for example, outside the clinical appointment, so you may have a gap for 3 months, your symptoms, your quality of life are not being recorded at home, so there's a big gap in data and information that really needs to be collected that isn't collected. So yet the ultimate measure of health system performance is whether it helps people recover from an acute illness, live well with a chronic condition, or face living life with dignity. And people's reports are the only way to assess this, but particularly validated instruments or questionnaires that can provide key research. So this is an overview of what the platform is. And what we're doing here is putting you, the patient, at the centre of this service, because it's really important that we get your feedback in terms of that quality of life and those symptoms on an ongoing basis outside clinical practice. So you can see here, these are all the elements of the health service that link in. So we have obviously the NHS that provide you an excellent service to improve your outcomes. We have the government that's helping to support them in terms of services and money and reimbursement for new medicines. And we also have the drug companies, which are essential to get that money to develop new indications. And sitting around that is the advocacy groups, which do an absolutely fantastic service and becoming increasingly more important to help you guide and navigate your way through this whole system. But most importantly, you are at the centre of it all. And collecting that information in terms of what we call through the Health Companion, that I'm going to come on to, is important to help develop better services, provide you with key information that you can feed back to your physicians and nurses, but also by linking it into what we call the Digital Assessment Exchange. And this is where your data, via your consent, that is very important, and it will only go there with your consent, by providing anonymised data that we can then link in to your clinical and medical records. That is absolutely valuable data, not at a specific clinical trial level, but on a population basis. So you can see we have all our supporters there. So now I want to come into the Health Companion, because this is your buddy, as it were. This is where, and there's 4 really key elements to this. There's enrolment, which I'll come on to. There's answering set questions. So this is, we're setting them up every month, but you can do them more frequently if you want. And then there's review and share the outputs. So you'll get little graphs over time of your different symptoms that you can share with the service, etc. And then finally, we want you to agree to provide your anonymised data so we can use that for future research to get better interventions, better medications that are going to improve, hopefully, your life and people's lives in the future. So just as a quick overview, what does the Health Companion collect? So it's putting you and it's giving you, making more control of your cancer and putting you at the centre. So the first thing we're collecting is diagnosis and treatment. So you've got it all in one place and you can look at that and you can change that over time. Your symptoms and quality of life, I've mentioned, which you record every month. Experience of the cancer services you're getting. So there's a platform every 6 months, whether that's good or bad, that you can record that information. That again helps the service to provide better outcomes for you. And also, if you want to fill it in, any costs associated with your cancer. So you can share that information with healthcare providers and your family and friends to provide better health and communications with your health care providers, improve cancer services and new opportunities for research into cancer medicines. So what I want to do is, is just show you a 3-minute video which just outlines the Health Companion. Hopefully this is going to work.
This is a short introduction to your Health Companion, what it is and the benefits to you of using it. It has been created so you can record your views on symptoms, quality of life and experience of the care and treatment you receive, whether good or bad, by answering a few simple questions. The aim is to gain your perspective to help deliver improvements in care for you and others like you. We are asking patients to answer a series of questionnaires regularly for a minimum of a year, taking just a few minutes each month. By adding your contribution to the Health Companion, you will be able to see your feedback in simple reports that will help you understand and manage your own well-being. Only you see this, or you can choose to share it with family and your healthcare team to communicate how you are feeling. Patient feedback is essential for knowing if treatments are really improving your quality of life and by how much. By taking part in using the Companion, you will help make real change. It's very easy to use and there are simple to-do lists and reminders that will help you. Or if you like, you can talk to someone over the phone, email or text. Before you begin, you will need to give your consent. This is done through your local nurse specialist or via the healthcompanion.me website. Be assured, we will protect your privacy at all times, only using your data to work with healthcare providers, NHS, universities and the pharmaceutical industry to help improve new and existing medicines and the services you receive.
So I think we're back to... So that just gives you an overview. Hopefully that was better than me going through it. So it's only 3 slides now, 3 or 4 slides, so you can obviously get on with your evening. But I just want to go through in terms of how you enroll, and it's really very simple. So the first thing, if you're interested, is we have a website. So you can go on there, so I would recommend if you're interested to go on there, read the patient section, there's a nurse section as well. Familiarise yourself with the enrolment steps, read the benefits of the Health Companion. I've got some leaflets as well, which I'll leave as well for people to pick up. And you can also access the Health Companion actual app, as it were, on the website as well, so you can do it on the website as well. So signing up to the Health Companion. You can sign up or sign into the Health Companion from the App Store on an Apple iOS devices or Android. So that can be on your phone, it can be on a tablet, and as I said, you can also do it on your computer. type in your health companion in the search to bring up that little logo there. You enter your password and then you're away. So to get your password, there's two routes. Receive your password via email. Either you can go through your clinical nurse specialist, who will enroll you on the app, fill in some of your clinical details or your clinical details, or you can go directly, and this will be available from next month, signing directly into the App Store, and you can put your clinical details in there as much as you know, and then you can take it to your clinical nurse, etc., to get anything updated that you don't know. And then you'll get the password either one of those two ways to get onto the app. And this isn't, we're not just leaving you alone with this. There has been a lot of investment behind this, and it's taken 3 years, believe it or not, nearly 4 years to set up this service, working, as I said, with Lung Cancer Nursing UK and Mesothelioma UK. So behind this, we have health companion managers. So within the first 2 weeks of signing up, they will give you a call. Obviously, you provided your consent for them to ring you and contact you. And they'll say, how are you getting on? Is there anything you need to know, etc.? But they're there continuously during office hours, either by phone or via the website there. So you can ring them at any time, as I said, during office hours. So really, what's the benefits for you? And I think this is important, and you could probably think of lots of benefits, but I've just sort of come up with a number here. So, as I said, it's really giving you the opportunity, putting you at the centre of the service, giving you more control. So you can use that to activate discussions about what you need and what you want to better manage your cancer. It provides a reminder of the outcomes. You know, over 3 months, you might be between your clinic visit or whatever it might be. You might forget, but this provides an opportunity for you to measure and share that with your healthcare professional to obviously help you improve your outcomes and the service you receive. It provides you invaluable data and up-to-date data because you have your clinical information to hand in one place. You might forget some of those things. You might not know some of those things, but at least you can work with the service to get all that information recorded. And a better understanding of your cancer, I've gone that one, providing invaluable cancer data for research. That is really key. By doing this, you provide your anonymised data at a national level that we can work with the NHS, we can work with advocacy groups, we can work with the pharmaceutical industry to provide that evidence around certain interventions, medications, to understand how your quality of life is affected over time. And finally, a mechanism for providing feedback on your experience of cancer, whether good or bad, to again help provide better services. And that's it. I apologise for the cartoons again.
Straight away, right, Duncan. Yes, Duncan.
So, yeah, very interesting. And as you know, I think as someone who, during the pandemic, used the Zoe COVID app,
Yeah.
When I was using that, I instantly thought, why aren't I providing this information about my cancer as well? Because you know the Zoe were often ahead of the curve in terms of knowing what was happening than the ONS and the government in a lot of cases. So you know, it's really interesting to see that a similar sort of thing is being done here. I work in IT. I'm a bit of a data nerd, so I've got some questions out of the back of this. Anonymization of data. There's, you know, some people would say there's no such thing as anonymized data.
Yeah.
So, and it usually depends on granularity, the level at which data, I presume when I'm signing up for this, I'm agreeing for the data to be shared with a list of organisations, or am I agreeing for it to be shared and then sold on?
It's provided as a service, and it's obviously supported and underpinned by research from commercial organisations.
Yes.
So, I mean, you have to fund this. You could fund this through health service, but that would fall over probably because budgets come and go. So, but in terms of your IG, your information governance and stuff, we've had to do, as I said, 3 years. So this has been approved by the trustees of Lung Cancer Nursing UK and Mesothelioma UK. We have a 40-page document called a Data Protection Impact Assessment Form, which we've developed over 3 years.
And that's available for me to read.
Yes,
I am the sort of person who'd read that.
I can email it you if you want. I mean, just to assure you, that this service wouldn't get anywhere off the ground unless we protect your data.
Great.
Now, I'm not the information governance guy. My business partner, Lee, deals with all that. So if there's anything specifics on that, we can provide more information, but I just want to fill you full of confidence.
No, that's fine.
That
that's
you
fine.
know the advocacy groups wouldn't have signed off on it if
the other question, and I think the question was already answered by what I saw though in terms of the sign-up process. But in terms of how what you're doing in the app is then related back to your clinicians. They get full visibility as well of the information you're providing. You
provide an excellent question there. Because at the moment, this is non-interventional. So the service, whether that be physicians, the nurses, or whatever it be, will get a little red flag, say, if your breathlessness is going one way or the other, because that will have an impact on the service. So it's there completely for you at the moment.
Right.
For you, if you decide to share, now obviously it's going to be in your benefit to share with your healthcare professional. These things will, I believe, go interventional in the future, but the information governance around that at the moment is such that it's one step at a time. So you're completely in control. It's up to you whether you decide to share that with family, friends, health service, or whatever.
But it would need me to do it outside of the service.
No, you can share it within the service. Okay. You can share it within the service because that's your choice. What it doesn't do is provide the service that patient A, your breathlessness is getting worse, it raises a red flag, so they have to do something about it.
Gotcha, thank you.
That is a different ball game.
Really interesting, thank you.
So how do we link in with the CNSs?
Hang on a minute, Ian. Hang on.
So how would it link in with the CNSs or the oncologists in a specific hospital? So if I say they can see it, do they just get to see it, or?
You have to. So if you sign up for it either through the CNS in the hospital or independently via the app, it's your choice to share that and go to the nurse. Well, if you're being signed up directly by the nurse, you've agreed and consented at that point. Yeah. If you go sign up via the app, then it's at your next clinical appointment or when you ring them to say, I'm on this, I want to share my, can you share some clinical information that I want to put into the app?
Sort of, so it is me pushing to them rather than...
No, it's both ways. It's pushable. So the CNSs will be recommended it.
So the next time I see my oncologist, he won't say, oh, your app's saying this, even if I give him permission to.
Sorry, I don't.
So in the case where I'm not seeing my CNS,
yeah.
So will the oncologist have access to that data too, or is it up to me to say, this is what my app's telling me?
So nobody has, at the moment, the service doesn't have access to your individual information. Right. That is fundamental. You only have access to your information. It's up to you personally to share that or not.
Can you please explain how it's funded then?
Right, so at the moment, this is, as I said, it's not funded through the NHS. how it's funded at the moment is through commercial organisations that are interested in using the data for research purposes, but it's not driven by any one commercial company, which is important because it's completely independent. So they will want to gain access to that anonymised information to define certain research questions that they can do that will help them provide information for the research they're doing.
Is there something on the website that says that gives a list of these people?
At the
or
moment,
the organizations?
because that is confidential to the companies, unless they put that information into the public domain or they allow us to put their logo or whatever on the website, we won't do that.
So does it require individual CNSs to sign up to this?
Originally that was the plan because they were integral in terms of the service. But what we're actually doing now is providing the patient to do directly get the app off the website and then linking with the CNS to fill in the information that they don't have, the clinical information that they might not know.
Okay.
We have, at the moment, we have about 50 trust approvals across the UK. So there's 230 trusts across the UK. So we have quite a national representation in terms of regions. The CNSs in those trusts have access to it. But where, obviously, we haven't got the trust approval at the moment, the patient now has the ability to go direct to the App Store and then link into their nurse that way.
Right, if there's no more questions, I'll wrap up and say thank you very much to Andrew for coming along this afternoon and sharing details. He'll leave some leaflets as well, so anyone that's interested will be able to pick up some leaflets, and we'll house some information as well on our website should you forget today, and then it's easier to access, all right?
So I'll leave some leaflets there, and
lovely.
also I'll leave a little piece of paper that anybody's interested to find out more information. If they want to, via your consent, we can contact you to follow up with you. So I'll just leave it at the table
lovely,
here.
thank you. So can we
Thank
show
you
our
very much.
appreciation to Andrew?